Hi everyone. I am going to make a little video here, instructional design, and this has to do with the idea of going from a goal, maybe how we think of an outcome, how we might think of an objective. And this is my point of view. Today is 5/30/17. Okay, and this is instructional design. Faculty take the course to help them design courses online, and it also should help your face-to-face courses, hybrids, and all those. Anyway, here's the idea. We have some major goal, or very often it might be called a vision. You might have this vision, this bigger thing you want to accomplish. Then an outcome would be able to do the vision. We'll do an example. Then an objective. Outcome is what we should know or learn. If you're thinking about students, what do they learn? These are the things that students have when they walk out the door, if you want to think of it that way, to accomplish this vision or goal. An objective allows us to accomplish the outcome. We have specific objectives that we select, that we can measure and so forth, that will allow us to help the student learn this particular outcome. Okay? So, if that makes sense, you may or may not want to do an example. So I'm going to do an example. And if you want, you can follow along. Okay, here's the example. The world, that's the world. The world needs housing. Okay? That might be our vision. Or maybe you might call it your goal. Housing. An outcome, I'll do that in another color there. An outcome would be the student should be able to build a house. I like that. Students should be able to build a house. Okay? Maybe it's a ranch house. Maybe a garage and so forth. So that's our outcome. Need to be able to build a house. Okay, now you can see where I'm going. A goal, to accomplish this goal of housing, we develop outcomes which then lead us to, let's say, an objective. All right, an objective. Yeah, let's go to another page. So our objective now, let's say we're going to build a house. That's our goal, to be able to build a house. An objective might be we need to be able to install doors and windows. I'm not writing the exact objective, but something to think about. Doors and windows. All right, so here we go. We want to be able to have housing, so we want to be able to build a house. In order to build a house, we have to be able to install doors and windows. Okay? So we're moving towards our specific objective. Might be more like this. I'm not going to write the whole thing up here. Our objective is to be able to given a door frame, okay, given a door frame size, okay, given a door frame, let me see here, I like that, given a door frame size, the student will be able to purchase and install a pre-hung, maybe right opening door. Okay, yeah, I could clean this up, but you get the idea. We got a condition given we have this particular door, the student be able to purchase and install a pre-hung right opening door. Okay? So this is going to lead us into a couple more specific. Okay? In what we're trying to do is to look at now, do you notice we have some terms that the student needs to know? The student needs to know pre-hung right opening. And I know the construction guys taking the course are going, oh my gosh, Mike, you're all kind of goofy here. But this is, at least this gives us an idea in a discipline that's maybe not directly related to all of us, but we can all understand. Okay, what does pre-hung mean, and what's right opening? Okay, these are things then would be a cognitive skill. These are things a student would need to understand. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy, you know, the student needs to be able to understand. And so you might have an objective they need to define. Okay, these particular things. And you can write an objective to do it. Define a pre-hung door. Define a right opening door. And you might use a different word than define. You know, the person designing objectives might have a better word, but these were cognitive skills. And then to actually hang the door, okay, to actually hang the door, you might have, these would be, you might have where you need to, you could use the term hang. I don't know if they still use that, hang the door, that's what I used to use. You might use install, and these would be that psychomotor skills. We don't talk about this a lot in this course, but you then could write some objectives for the skills. So it's a different domain, but you can see the difference. So in here we have the cognitive, which we are talking about primarily in this course that you're currently in. But you can also see now the application of this. Okay? So, then the review, right, we have the goal of housing, goal or vision or supplies, you know, decent housing in the world, or however you might do that. Our outcome is to be able to build houses. Okay, right, we can build houses. And then we have objectives to accomplish that. And you could decide all those. I'm going to make a side note here. The understanding part, where we talked about pre-hung doors, you know, this cognitive skill, understanding that term, what it means, a right opening door, that always made me, always had to double look. And is it right opening, left opening? You go to the store and which one's really which and all that. But those cognitive skills, I think the student can learn himself or herself. Excuse me. The student could learn that. They could use either a little video, they could use, look it up, those knowledge skills the student could learn themselves. And two things happen here, okay? First of all, it saves you class time and so forth. The second thing is the student takes pride, believe it or not, in learning those things. The student can come back to class and say, hey, I know how that works. Hey, I know how that works. Hey, I can explain that to other students, okay? And that's what learning is all about. All right. Thanks.